Tahuti broke this down very well. He did this on the KP podcast. Unfortunately, that show was removed. Luckily, Tahuti put it up on his site. A lot of what he said, I had said the week before in a couple of my videos, but he puts it way more detailed, way more eloquently. I just kind of grunt and say, picture here, this is what it looks like, and give an overview, whereas he can like really break it down.
What is this? What does this have to do with your song, Travis Scott? The video doesn't have this little creature thing in it, which is him actually. We're going to examine this. Let's take a look at this because this is the one.
him?
Yeah, that actually is him.
Bad boy.
With the mouth open and the dreads, that was his head in the Astroworld. His head was the mouth open. Walking into it. Yeah, that was him.
No doubt.
We're going to examine that and take a look at the messages on there. So this came out here, and it has an interesting word that you don't really hear in the hood.
Dystopia.
Yeah. When was the last time you've been down Crenshaw, been to Watts, and Brother talking about, yo, dystopia? This is not a word that the likes of some of, you know,
True dystopia here.
The true dystopia here. There's a lot of subliminal messages on this escape plan. Because remember, the theme of it was see ya on the other side. And on the other side, by the way, was a bunch of fire, which would represent hell or death on the other side. And right here, when we examine this and look, it says, who knows what lies beneath the surface? Why would that be on your cover, Travis Scott? Or what is this? Who knows what lies between the surface? And something very interesting here says, when the end arrives, it's really the beginning.
Yeah.
That's a life and death.
Yeah, it's a life and death.
That's a life and death concept
terminology.
from the Greek concept of Cernanos. Cernanos, which was the horned goat. We're going to get into that.
Right.
But now let's look at dystopia and what it actually means. It's actually the opposite word of Ethiopia. So, Ethiopia, which the word utopia comes from or is associated with, Ethiopia was known by the Greeks as a place of heaven, a place that was without sin. In the ancient Kemetans called it the Zep Tepi, or the time of the Zep Tepi, the area called Ta Neter, the land of the gods. Christians' concept of the land of gods or the area of God is heaven. Ethiopia was that place in ancient time. It was a place that Herodotus said, this place is without sin, these people are the closest to the sun, and it was associated with utopia, and it was associated with fire, so they called it Ethiopia.
Yeah.
The opposite of that is dysutopia, which creates the word dystopia. Let's look at dystopia. An imaginary bad place. That means it's a place in your subconscious, right? Which is where people's heaven and hell are created before you die. In your subconscious, then you bring that consciousness over to the other side that I described with the DMT. It's this from dystopia, right? It's a negative place, bad, abnormal. Okay, so the day before the Escape Plan concert, because they say it's the Astroworld concert, but actually when you see the concert with all the fire, that's only for one song. That was for the Escape Plan thing. That was for that theme. It was the Escape Plan theme. But he says that it's the true dystopia is here, which is a bad, abnormal place where the end arrives, which is really the beginning. As far as life and death, when you die, that's the beginning of the next world. The video, though, has nothing to do with that, but there is something in the video that is very interesting that we're going to get into. Now we're going to get into what this thing is. Why does this exist? Now, when we look at this, you see the ears right here? Whoop. You see the ears right here? These ears are from a particular creature. It's actually from a goat god, which we're going to get into, the goat god that inspired CERN. So when we shrink this down, we see the man here with his mouth open, the little dreads coming in, and he looks like some type of demon child creature. Who knows what lies beneath the surface when the end rises really beginning? This is all reference to CERN, which is the goat-headed god of the beginnings and the endings, even down to the ears. See, before CERN was a project, in Switzerland. Before it was a place where they had the LHC, the Large Hydrogen Collider. Before it was that, it was actually the name of a god, a Greek god, the god of the beginnings and the endings.
I was thinking
Say it again?
Omega and Alpha.
The Alpha and
Omega. You said CERN, right?
CERN, that's where you get the word corn from.
Corn, right.
Corn, as in 2, cornutu, the horned goat. That's why they hold it. Corn and CERN is the same word. Cernanos and Capricornus.
Capricorn. That's what I was about to say. Does that relate to Curios too? Like, does it has any connection to?
No, Curios was we have the Greek rendition of Heru.
Heru, okay.
Right. So the Capricornus, which was when December ends, then there's a new beginning in Janus. So that's why they began their new year in Janus, which is the end of CERN, or the end of Capricornus, the end of the horned goat. The Capricorn. Okay? So now, the same news, on the news is very interesting, because when they show things, they show a lot of subliminal things. So on this news broadcast talking about how great this event was, it's going to have a man talking about, well, this event is about bringing you to another level. And then it's going to clip to a young boy saying, Travis is the GOAT.
Right,
It clips to it immediately. I'll play it right here.
Hold on. He says it?
And then so you do know this world.
Yes.
And say they're getting everything they expected, and then some. This world is like walking into another world. Travis Scott is the GOAT. Astroworld, Houston native Travis Scott's fantasy.
So they have these subliminal things where the guy's talking, and then all of a sudden you hear, this world is like taking you to another world, and all of a sudden you hear, Travis Scott is the GOAT. And it just clips into something else. But the GOAT they're talking about.
It's crazy that they call people the GOAT, right? Like, he's the GOAT, he's the greatest of all time, but what they really saying, you're the GOAT of Mendes.
That is the GOAT that they're actually.
That's right. You actually call himself the GOAT.
That's why they say. That's why they say the GOAT. That's why they say that.
I don't want to be the GOAT.
Right. That is actually the GOAT. Now.
I'm a netter. You know what I mean?
Yes. So now, we're gonna go back to the article, and you see the ear right there. I squared off the ear so you can see that.
He has the GOAT ear.
Right.
Am I correct?
Yes. When the end arrives, it's really the beginning. We shrink it down. This is CERN. This is Cernanos. Do you see this ear?
He has the GOAT. He got the ears, yo.
That's right. That's Cernanos.
Yo, wow. Yo, you know, let me keep it real with you. Like, people will call this stuff conspiracy theories. but yo, I mean, it's adding up. You know what I'm saying? It's adding up, yo. I used to be like this, but go on, brother. Teach on.
This is Cernanos. This is CERN, the GOAT. This is GOAT, that ear right there. And that's why if you ask any one of Travis Scott's fans, who is this child and what is this ear? Right? Why is this ear like this? Because it deals with the god of the beginnings and the endings, which is an actual Greek and Roman god right here, and a Wiccan. A Wiccan god of neo-paganism. In the Wiccan, other forms of neo-paganism, a horned goat is revered. This divinity secretes a number of horned and antlered gods from various cultures, including Cernanos. See that? That's the CERN. That's where CERN comes from. Cernanos. The horned goat reflects what? Seasons of the year. An annual cycle of, what does that say, Rasul? Death and rebirth.
Death and rebirth.
Death and rebirth. We go back down here. There's the ear. There's the ear. Death and rebirth. Because when the end arrives, it's really the beginning.
That's right.
That's the horned goat. This is the cycle of life and death, which is also the sacrifice. Life equals death for more life. An infinite cycle, also represented by a particular number. What do you think that number is? So,
would you say that again? I'm sorry.
There's a particular number that represents
death?
Infinity.
Oh. The 8.
Right.
The 8 represents
The
the symbol
8.
because it connects the line.
Right. It's
just like the metaverse, new metaverse symbol.
Right, and it keeps on going like this. So here we have the death for life.
Wow, 8, the 8 flames.
Right, the 8 death.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. We're gonna get into all that. Right. So the death for life, because in the sacrificial rituals, you give up a life for death.
For death.
Guess what they used to sacrifice in ancient times?
Goats.
Right.
That's right. Yeah. Hey,
Go.
I gotta ask you one question. I was talking to a brother, man, right?
Yeah.
And we was talking about the ancestors, primarily the Commetans, and we know that they drunk beer, right?
Yeah, real beer.
Real beer. But he said that they would mix beer with goat's blood. Is that a fact? Because I didn't know. I've never heard that.
But you know.
But
what I always say,
I couldn't really debate him, or I was I never read that before.
Yeah, what I always say to people, whenever they say something that an ancient culture did, I just play the role of a baby. If I never heard of it before, I just say, that's very interesting.
Yeah, it was very interesting.
I say, can I see the primary source of it? That's usually either person has the source.
I didn't ask him for a primary. We were just kind of talking.
Yeah, just say, well, where in can we demonstrate that? What papyrus? If you say anything about anybody's ancient culture, can we see it, please?
Right.
Because there's no way that you could know it, and the people themselves don't even know it about themselves. So obviously, you must have got it from the people themselves.
Source.
So,
not source.
So I just ask him to show it. So here we go. This is Cernanos, right? And here is.
There it is.
There is the 8.
There's the 8.
That's the infinity symbol. Right? The particular symbol of cycle, which represents a particular number. Right? How many people were killed at this event?
8.
8 people were killed. Right? 8 people were killed. So this is how many pillars were there? There was 8. So when we look at this again, and we see what happened at Travis Scott's Astroworld in 2021 that led to 8 deaths. This was the popular article that came out, USA Today. Guess what day that this article came out? November the 8th.
November the 8th. Whoa.
So the article, the USA Today article comes out November 8th at 1:44, of course. So it comes out.
Oh man, I didn't know. Damn, dude, he got me.
It comes out.
You know, you just read you just put a whole whoa.
So it keeps going. It keeps going on though, because understand that numbers are frequencies.
November 8th and 8 people died.
Right, and they're gonna talk about Travis Scott, who is nominated for a particular amount of Grammys.
Don't tell me he's 8.
So now.
Is it 8? Is it 8 Grammys though? So this is crazy.
Remember that numbers, angles create frequency.
Right.
This is why people that do magic rituals, right, which means to do something over and over again.
Right.
It's the monotony of doing something over and over again that creates the momentum, and each number has its own frequency. That's why in magic, if they tell you, take this orange and squeeze it 7 times.
Right.
Take this water bottle, pour it for 7 seconds.
Right.
Magical rituals are usually based on numbers and frequencies, and these people are very loyal. So these people here, we have 8 deaths. The article comes out November 8th. It's about Travis Scott, who's a nominated Grammy winner.
Right. look, it says. You want me to read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Scott, an 8-time Grammy-nominated rapper and Houston native, released a oh my God.
So here we have.
The cycle's always the same ritual, the same time of year. Kylie is pregnant. Now, you didn't think Travis and her were going to give up their own child, do you? And Stormy. Sounds very harp, don't it? So you can expect some natural disasters to follow as well. The ritual's always the same. One dies, one comes in, and one gets married. The wedding feast. You know, the star alignment recently passed where Jesus was betrayed, sold out. So sometimes tickets sell out, sometimes it's people. The death rituals never change. When Aldebaran, the Death Star, is up, someone gets pregnant, someone dies, someone gets married. So, with Madeline, of course, hers is going to fall right in alignment. As you can see right here, it says from 2 weeks ago, last night, my best friend, my partner in crime, my rock, oh boy, and there's the door, asked me to marry him, and 100% ritual on time. Nothing against Madeline Eskins. I actually admire her for helping people and having the spirit to do so, but I certainly see the rituals clear as day. Honestly, I seriously doubt that Madeline has any idea about the rituals going on. She's on her own program. You can see it. But look, people, you guys in December and November and even October think you're celebrating a certain thing, but what you're not realizing is no, it's basically a big sex ritual. Yes, big fertility rituals. I'm about to do a breakdown on that too. Hopefully you don't go mental, because it is heavy. And people don't like to be challenged. People do not like their spiritual belief system to be challenged. So while I talk about these things, my hope is not that you get angry at me, but that maybe you take a look and say, might there be some type of truth in some of this stuff? Don't shoot the messenger.
What the fuck is that? If everybody good, put a middle finger up in the sky. Okay, where my guy, man?
You seen the middle finger, right? In '94, President Dumbass Bush won governorship of Texas and gave the cameraman the one-finger salute. Things that happen in Texas that make you go, Regrets?